Today it's a story about two cars that are separated by one model year but are quite different. Hi, it's Bud Wilkinson. Today a story about a father and son who own a 1931 Hupmobile and a 1930 Ford Model A. The Hupmobile is an upscale four-door Century Eight Model L sedan. It belongs to Travis Hodge of New Hartford, Connecticut. The Model A is a two-door, a coupe with a rumble seat that Travis's father, Bill Hodge of Riverton, Connecticut, owns.
I got mine first about a year and a half ago. I had wanted a Model A for probably 20 years and was waiting for all the circumstances and planets to align and everything for the right time. And I retired last year and decided that the planets were aligning, and I started my search. Found the car in central Massachusetts, purchased it from an elderly gentleman. The car's name is Annabelle. That was the name that he and his wife gave the car, so I kept it.
I've had the car for just about a year now. I actually found it up in New Hampshire. It was being sold for a past member of the Hupmobile Club by another current member. And the car just spoke to me. I wasn't really actively looking for it. It just called my name and I saw it and had to have it, basically. Originally I was looking for another Model A, a four-door sedan, and we had planned on looking at another one in New Hampshire at the same day. So we figured, well, we're going up there anyways. If this doesn't work out, we'll go and look at the Hupmobile as well. And it turned out the Ford wasn't exactly what we were looking for, but the Hupmobile was.
Hupmobile was a Detroit manufacturer that was founded in 1909 and lasted until 1940. A total of 17,451 examples were produced for the 1931 model year.
It's the time frame I like. I like late 20s, early 30s cars to begin with, but I also like the bigger, classier cars of that era as well, which the Hupmobile was sort of a mid-range car at that time, sort of a Buick competitor.
The Model A Ford, which was launched in 1927 and lasted until 1932, appealed to a broader segment of the buying public. More than 625,000 copies were sold for the 1931 model year.
They were basic transportation, built to a price point, designed for, the average guy to be able to own and drive. And they still are. That's the neat thing about it. The average guy can own and drive it, even though it's almost 100 years old.
Neither Bill nor Travis had owned a classic vehicle before purchasing their respective cars.
My dream car was a Stingray, 60 Stingray Corvette. That was my ultimate. And I figured, all right, someday I'm going to have one of those. But they were always priced way out of my means. I've never been somebody that made a lot of money in my lifetime, so things were more important, like feeding kids, paying mortgages. So having a luxury like a collector car was always way, way, way on the back burner. When the price of Corvettes never really came down, I decided I had to adjust my sights a little bit more reasonably. And the most reasonable collector car that there is pretty much on the planet is a Model A Ford. They're one of the least expensive. They're the easiest to get parts for. There's a big database out there in terms of past knowledge and everything. So there's not much that's easier to get into the old car business with than a Model A Ford. So that's what I decided to go with.
They're analog, and everything slows down when you're driving. It's sort of being in a different time, and even though the Hupmobile is exact opposite of the Model A and how easy it is to own, it's very hard to get parts for and things like that. I like the challenge of it.
In their own way, each model stands out and draws attention.
You can drive a brand new Corvette down the street, nobody will see you. You drive one of these down the street, everybody sees you. They're different enough that they're a novelty and people are intrigued by them. I never go anywhere, ever, that someone doesn't comment on my car. It's rolling history. You know, we need to remember where we came from. So that's part of what I like about it. Plus the fact that it's interesting to look at how things started out and how they got to where they are now in terms of engineering and so on.
For me, the most surprising thing is how much fun it is to drive slow. Being a younger person, I've never really enjoyed driving slow before, but all of a sudden I got this and it's a whole different way of looking at it.
That's my ride. In Riverton, Connecticut for CT Insider, I'm Bud Wilkinson.